What happens when rival fandoms, who normally argue about everything, suddenly decide to join forces against one movie? That is exactly the joke behind the lesbian space princess fandom war and the viral Great Fandom Truce of 2026. The trend exploded on TikTok in August 2026 after Lesbian Space Princess started receiving widespread attention and mockery online. The movie is a 2025 Australian adult animated science fiction comedy written and directed by Emma Hobbs and Leela Varghese. The story follows Princess Syra, an anxious and introverted lesbian from the planet Clitopolis, who sets out to rescue her ex-girlfriend Kiki after she is abducted by the straight white Melians. The movie's bizarre premise, unusual character names, and deliberately sexual humor quickly became the focus of online jokes. The film received renewed attention after appearing in Netflix recommendations in some regions, exposing it to audiences who had never heard of it before. As clips and screenshots began spreading across social media, users started joking that this was one rare occasion when completely unrelated fandoms could forget their usual rivalries and unite around a common enemy. And that became the Great Fandom Truce. The memes usually show characters from different fandoms meeting and extending a hand to each other, often accompanied by the phrase, "just this once." The joke is that these characters would normally never cooperate, but the situation is apparently serious enough to make them temporarily put their differences aside. TikTok users began creating edits featuring characters from multiple fictional universes, forming an unlikely alliance against Lesbian Space Princess. The more ridiculous the combination of fandoms, the better the joke worked. But why is everyone saying they hate this movie? The important thing is that the hatred is largely part of the meme. The movie became a convenient target for online mockery because of its exaggerated premise, unusual names, and explicit comedic style. The trend is less about creating a serious fandom movement and more about exaggerating the idea that one strange movie could somehow unite the entire internet. Interestingly, this is not the first time fandoms have been brought together for an imaginary battle. The Great Fandom Truce of 2026 strongly echoes the infamous "Fandoms Grab Your Weapons" Tumblr thread from 2012. That older meme called on different fandoms to prepare for an imagined conflict, with fans bringing weapons or abilities from their favorite fictional universes. The difference is that the 2012 Tumblr post was initially treated much more seriously, while the 2026 trend is largely built around irony and temporary cooperation. So, the Lesbian Space Princess fandom war is essentially an internet joke about fandom unity. Rival communities that normally spend their time fighting each other suddenly join hands and say, "just this once," because they have found a common target. Whether the movie truly deserves all the hate is almost beside the point. The real viral phenomenon is the ridiculous idea that Harry Potter fans, superhero fans, anime fans, and countless other communities could finally achieve peace, not because they solved their differences, but because they found something they could all make fun of together. And that is what makes the Great Fandom Truce of 2026 such a perfect example of internet culture. Sometimes the fastest way to unite fandoms is simply to give them a common enemy.